Welcome to episode 17 of the Tailgate update on the Forkball YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us yet again. We have a loaded docket, and we also have another special guest, the one and only Devyn Dowling, our number one fan, will be joining us this week in place of Caleb, who is out once again. Thinking about Caleb and his family at this time. Hopefully we see you back next weekend, buddy.
Not next weekend, because next weekend is our Thanksgiving special.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes.
But after that, yes.
After that.
Hopefully be back together in December.
That's right. I forgot about next weekend.
Well, it's a good reminder for our fans to keep an eye out for our extra special
content. Yeah.
A piece. Yep.
Good looking out, Julie. Good looking out.
Anytime.
Okay. Do you want to just dive right on in? Dive on in, yeah?
My cat is licking my foot. I was not expecting that. Yes, let's go for it. Let's crack that first beer.
Okay, let's crack it open. Beer one, here we go. Buffalo Bills, making decision of the year. Are they making the decision of the year here, guys? They fired Ken Dorsey earlier this week, and they're going to name QB coach Joe Brady the interim OC. Devyn, start with you. How would you rate Ken Dorsey's stay in Buffalo as the OC?
I wouldn't rate it very well. Probably like a C, maybe. It seemed like Josh Allen had a lot more freedom in this offense. He wasn't more controlled. He was more relying on Josh Allen as a quarterback. But Ken Dorsey getting fired for hiring the quarterback coach is kind of a lateral move, because last year Ken Dorsey was their quarterback coach. So I don't see much of an improvement on this signing.
Look, somebody had to go after they had 12 people on the field, and unfortunately, apparently that had to be Ken Dorsey, and I'm not sure why, but somebody had to go.
Well, that offense is just looking absolutely stagnant at this point. I mean, you have Stephon Diggs, and he looks like nothing compared to what he was last 3 or 4 years. And Josh Allen seems like he's hurt still, and he's absolutely being run into the ground by this Ken Dorsey offense.
Yeah, hopefully he's the big enough problem that, like, removing him is a difference, but...
Yeah, it's a shame that we can't even bet on the Bills and be like confident with that bet anymore. The offense just isn't there. They don't run the ball nearly enough as they should, and when they do, it's with Josh Allen.
And he like freaking cried, and it made me feel weird last week.
He cried?
Well, his eyes were suspiciously watery at the end of the game. That definitely looked like it was forming into tears.
Well, maybe he did cry, and maybe...
Which I get, because if you lose to the Broncos, even though they're doing much better, that would be something that would make a lot of people cry.
Yeah, losing to the Broncos makes a lot of people cry.
Well, they would have won if they could count.
Honestly,
let's just say they would have won if officiating wasn't so suspect constantly in the NFL.
Okay, no, look,
come on.
You're gonna count to 12. Okay, that's just like no matter what.
I'm not saying that there wasn't 12 men on the field. I'm saying the pass interference call. You shouldn't be awarding quarterbacks for underthrown passes. That pass is underthrown. Shouldn't be allowed to do what? Shouldn't be allowed to do
allowed
what?
To get away with defensive pass interference.
There's been a lot of those calls missed, as we know. As the Broncos know.
Let's just say the NFL officiating has been atrocious this year.
Can we agree on that? Wouldn't save the Bills, okay? Because they count to 12. So
I guess.
And in terms of the AFC East, we also got the New York Jets, who had a player-only meeting, which, according to the guys on Amazon Prime, you know, the little show there, that's a really bad sign. Unless Pete Carroll is there, and then it's a good sign. But if he's not there, then it means that you're pretty much failing. So then they cut Michael Carter, which was a big deal because he was a big running back for them, and then Saleh says more personnel changes are to come. So they'll probably have a Buffalo Bills come to Jesus meeting as well. The New England Patriots, Mac Jones gets benched again, and Belichick on the block. I don't know. I seen like some of the YouTube commentators I followed had like him in a Chargers jersey for some reason, but I didn't watch that video. So
so they're saying that Brandon Staley is coaching his way out of LA, and the Chargers would be dumb enough to ruin Justin Herbert by pairing him with Bill Belichick.
I believe that was the implication. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And if you tuned in on Monday for a game we were all excited about, you saw the second coming of the body bag game.
Monday? The Bills and
Thursday. I forgot what day it was.
Thursday. That happens. It happens.
Yep. So one of the more exciting primetime games, something that Amazon doesn't know very much about. Then we all had to watch in shock and horror. While Mark Andrews is out almost for the rest of the season. Then there's that whole debate about the whole hip dropping tackle thing, about like getting rid of that.
Every time there's a big injury like that, somebody's always looking at something as to why that happened. And if it's egregious enough, they always complain, we need to get rid of this in football.
Yeah.
To prevent this type of injury. I mean, come on.
Well, just noting the debate, I'm also not that serious about that because I still would like them to care about their players not getting dementia at 30, but that's not happening either. So I'm certainly not worried about hips. So we almost lost Lamar to an ankle injury too. We all saw that. Could have gone way worse than it did. The way he got it bent under him like that. Like, well, it was like to the side, then player style time. Like it could have become a Liz Frank fracture really easily, but we got lucky. But who didn't get lucky was Joe Burrow, because we all had to see his throw, his like the Amazon Prime caught that and they just kept playing it over and over again while he threw, and then it fell from his hand super dramatically. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, I haven't seen the footage of that. I didn't watch the game, but I saw the footage of the Mark Andrews injury. And that was close.
His thumb was doing weird things when he was throwing, but he went to the sidelines and then he tried to throw the ball and it literally fell out of his hand and he was grimacing, and they just kept playing that clip over and over. He couldn't even finish the throw. He managed to make it right here and then poof.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Must have been gripping the ball pretty hard, huh?
No. He really wasn't. Yeah, and then you were going to talk about the whole controversy with his with them sneaking on him, looking like they're the RICO investigators or something.
Oh my God! So this is gonna be a new thing now for the NFL. Every time an injury happens or a player does not play in a game like they're supposed to, they're gonna investigate the team. The NFL is investigating the Bengals on why they didn't list Burrow on their injury report over the wrist ailment.
Wasn't that a thing with
Bijan Robinson had migraines.
Yeah, but they didn't have him either, right? They didn't have him listed before the game, and then he ended up not playing that game with migraines, and they're trying to link it to a concussion or something like that, and that's a no-no not to list him as in concussion protocol. So, but I guess you never really know when a migraine is coming, but surely they could try they could do it right before the game,
Yeah, they can come anytime. So, so the Bengals posted on X a video of Burrow getting off the bus wearing a supposed soft cast on his right hand, which is his throwing hand. Yeah. A post which they then deleted. Coach Zach Taylor said he was not aware of any wrist issue before Thursday's game. Is this ridiculous or not, Devyn? Let's start with you first.
I think it's a little ridiculous. If a player says that he's ready to go, then especially a player like Joe Burrow, there's no coach in the world that's going to say, never mind, you're not playing. Like, he's the captain. It's his offense. It's his team. Like, Joe Burrow, if he says he's going to play, he's playing for my team at least. So I think it shouldn't be anything to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, he played through a calf strain for most of the season, most of the first half of the season. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to play through a wrist injury, right? Especially if there's any report saying that he can play.
Yeah, but then they saw him on the sidelines putting his hand into like some kind of warmer that was supposed to help with the blood circulation on the side. Yeah, and like that doesn't normally happen, so that looked weird too. Like they don't normally warm his hand before games.
I don't know.
Well, like I mean, they would massage his calf too before his games. When he had
yeah.
Like you don't just stick people's hands in warmers. Like that was kind of a sign that they knew to me.
Yeah, he might have done it in warm-ups and then, kickoff happens and here he is. I don't know. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
He might have hurt himself in warm-ups and then mentioned it prior to kickoff, and they don't get to do the injury designations by then, I guess, maybe. Who knows? All I know is this is absolutely ridiculous, and the NFL is trying to play Big Brother way too much.
So many interesting reasons. My hand swells with elevation, so I had to wear this thing. Or what was the other one?
In Baltimore?
Well, that's what Burrow said. Like afterwards, when they asked him, he said his hands swell because of the elevation on the plane, so he had to wear the thing. And he had some other reason too that was similarly kind of insane. And I'm like it didn't look great. Like I understand he had to say something, but like it just made it look worse when he said some dumb shit like that. And then
are we gonna mention the massage monster?
I was gonna say that PJ Walker is up. The massage monster is out.
For the year,
delivers in certain ways, and sometimes we can't foresee what will come. And sometimes justice is doled out in different ways. That's what I'll say about that. We also don't want to forget that Barstool Sports founder, your favorite man, Dave Portnoy, says he's going to file a lawsuit against the Bengals and the NFL because he wouldn't have bet so much money on Joe Burrow if he knew that he was injured ahead of time. To which I say, I wish I had thousands of dollars to bet on anyone ever, but interesting to see where that heads.
Yeah, well, we have more sports betting to talk about later on the show, but
very true.
Let you want to
looking at the AFC South, we know that the mayonnaise man is in, and
who?
Levis.
Oh,
Will Levis.
Yep.
Tannehill is now his backup, by the way. He has been promoted to backup. Tannehill has been.
Is he healthy again? Because I know he was out with an injury for a while.
I guess so, if he's going to be the backup.
Yeah. I know he's coming in off of an injury, so we'll see about that. And then with the AFC West, obviously, with Pierce now running the show. And they've won every game since. Granted, it's the Giants and the Jets, and we're seeing some of the worst New York football in history, but still wins that would not have been guaranteed before. And we got Aiden O'Connell at the helm, so that's interesting.
He's played pretty well, actually, in his couple starts he's had.
Yeah, absolutely. And he makes Adams happy, and that's all that really counts. So,
yeah. Julie, you mentioned earlier that the Jets are now having a team meeting. Did you say it was a team meeting or players only meeting?
Players only meeting.
Oh, okay. Because I knew the team meeting is what really has turned the Raiders around the past 2 weeks. So maybe the Jets are kind of thinking the same similar thing.
I don't think Robert Saleh is ready for that. I don't think most people are ready for that kind of a team meeting. I would personally like crawl under a rock and never come back out if everybody told me why they hated me for like an hour.
Well, hopefully the team meeting with Saleh would be a little different than Josh Daniels.
That sounds like the worst kind of meeting ever, and I would never come back. But yeah, I guess according to like Andrew Whitworth and what's his name, Richard Sherman, and them, they said like the only time they've ever had team meetings, unless Pete Carroll was there, it was bad news. It's like it's like a last hurrah while they're trying to like when there's nightmares coming. So like they're trying to like I don't know what, but apparently it's bad. Let's see. So then if we head into the NFC East, actually one of our healthier divisions, other than the New York Giants, who are gonna be what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's healthy other than Leighton Vander Esch and the Giants. Leighton Vander Esch?
Okay, yeah. I said besides the Giants.
Oh, okay.
And then I started with Tommy DeVito because he's the quarterback, because everybody else is in IR, which is just a really uncomfortable place for all of us who have to watch the game and for him.
Former Syracuse quarterback and Illinois quarterback Tommy DeVito. I absolutely loved him when he was head in the Carrier Dome. And now he transferred to Illinois for a year. And now with the Giants, I actually think he's got a real shot to make something here with a team that isn't too great. If he can get a couple wins in this year, I really think that he might be able to get a better opportunity in another team in a couple years.
It was nice of Brian Daboll to let him throw the ball last week.
They still do. They do have some pieces, and I mean, I like Tyrod Taylor better, but obviously he's not available either. But I would prefer pretty much anybody over Danny Dimes. So, like, yeah, I'm fine with DeVito. I know a lot of people have a lot to say, but I think he's probably like a fish drowning, because he's like a fish out of water. Like, what am I even doing right now? Like in the NFL, like now I'm starting. I don't know. It seems kind of stressful. So
yeah, we gotta look at Dallas too. Like I was saying about Leighton Vander Esch, it's probably career ending. His neck injury. He's out for the year, and he might have to retire. I believe this is his second neck injury he's had.
Unfortunately, I'm not super caught up on Vander Esch's neck.
I know he's had some injury problems in the last 5 years or so. Him and Sean Lee was the linebacker over there with him. They both were injured quite a bit. So now he's facing that.
Yeah, you only want
darkness.
Some big neck injuries before.
Yeah, he's facing that darkness.
But the Cowboys are surprisingly kind of flying under my radar because they're actually doing well, and like
they're playing garbage teams right now.
And actually, they're kind of quiet. You know, they haven't been creating a lot of problems for me. They're not even on my true crime report, so like the Cowboys are fine with me.
You know, Tony Pollard hasn't had a rushing touchdown since week 1.
Yeah, but it's Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard was one of the best running backs in the league last year.
Well, he was. But I guess I'm not surprised by much.
Tony Pollard was one of the best running backs in the league when he is able to be camouflaged with Ezekiel Elliott. Now that he's being exposed, we're seeing what
camouflage with what? Zeke wasn't
more worried about Zeke.
Worried about what? Did he eat the ball?
Because Zeke would come in and put up 60, 70 rushing yards a game. Tony Pollard would be the one to come off with the other opportunity to break off those breakaway passes, those screens, all the extra stuff.
Okay. I'll give that to you, Dev. I'll give that to you.
Now, with all the power being on Tony Pollard, he's really being exposed in all the stuff that he wasn't able to do, or that he's forced to do as the starter.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I guess I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then if we trek to the NFC North, the Detroit Lions, do not be worried. Dan Campbell is not leaving to Texas A&M. That was a rumor.
Why would he?
I don't know. Apparently he loves it a lot and they need a head coach, okay? It was like a legit rumor and we're just dispelling it right here, right now.
The rumor doesn't make any sense. He's making money here coaching Detroit, who is a playoff team and actually number 5 to start the year for Super Bowl winning odds. Okay? He's up here making money. Why would he go down here to coach Texas A&M? Everyone doesn't make sense to me.
I don't make the rumors. I just
it don't make sense.
So then, if we go to Minnesota, it's Dobbs country now. Definitely a fashion improvement over.
I'm calling it right now. I think he's comeback player of the year.
Yeah, it could be. Well, no, because I think what's his name is gonna get it, even though he's only done 1 tackle since he came back, pretty much.
Damar Hamlin.
Yeah. Because when you die, I think like somehow that gives you a leg up on things.
I'm pretty sure that's the reason why he has a roster spot right now.
Yeah, and it probably would also be the reason he gets comeback player of the year, because the only other people who died on the field actually died.
Yeah. In my honest opinion, Damar Hamlin was probably the reason the Bills lost, because he was the extra guy out on that extra point. When they kicked it the second time, Damar was not on the field.
He was a healthy scratch the week before that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, and
it's a PR nightmare if they cut him.
Justin Jefferson is. I may come back on Sunday from IR. He's been for a minute with that hamstring, but
I just got a notification said he's out.
Well, that makes me sad because so I guess he's coming back from IR, but maybe next week.
Maybe next week. They said that he's going to sit out this Sunday.
And then for the Chicago Bears, the person who won't be sitting out is Justin Fields.
Oh,
yeah.
Caleb will be happy about that.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. I'm tired of the other guy.
I look forward to the arguments with Caleb and other people about Justin Fields.
I always love those. So then trek over to the NFC South. Carr avoided a severe shoulder injury again, even though it looked bad again. And he had his brain re-scrambled. Michael Thomas has a knee injury, but he also has an arrest, so kind of hard to tell which is the one that's barring him. Obviously, it's not but if he didn't play, it could be either. And then Marshawn Lattimore, of course, is also injured. A huge loss. And then with the Falcons, Ritter may come back as starting QB. So
Ritter? Why the hell? It doesn't make sense.
He came in after Heineke last week, I think, and I think they said he could start again.
Okay.
He deserves a shot.
Yeah, I'm sure other teams would love to catch passes from him.
And then our favorite division, the one we're all in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
sit down.
The 49ers, people are still talking about Purdy getting mixed reviews. I don't have a lot of feelings about it.
Never.
Yeah. Did y'all know that he's half Hispanic? I never would have guessed that. Yeah, and then the Seattle Seahawks. Why did they get Brett Rypien? Why is Brett Rypien making the move amongst the NFC West?
Because Brett Rypien played for the Rams, and y'all playing for the Rams this week. They somehow think that he knows secrets about our playbook that he didn't even know himself.
Theory? That's better than him actually playing. So,
Julie, it doesn't matter. He's going to be 18th on the depth chart behind Pete Carroll's grandson, the punter that can throw, the running back that played quarterback in high school. He's garbage.
When I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, Drew Lock is already enough of a nightmare. This is like a third one. Like, it's like.
Okay, to be fair, Drew Lock can actually throw the ball. Brett Rypien, no.
Did you see him out there? It was like, it was kind of like when Burrow left and Browning came in. It was like when all of your hopes and dreams like flushed down a toilet. That's the sound that happened when he came out.
I'm almost guaranteeing that when Burrow left, a lot of Bengals fans stopped watching.
I'm just saying, like, it was like I felt my soul wither when he came out.
Wither wow.
away while they were giving Gino a nice shot of Toradol to the ankle. Like they had him out there for a minute, and it like was I was like, this is the worst moment of my life. Like it was awful. So no, I take threats seriously to my mental health, and so I hope to God that they keep him away.
Okay.
Okay, and then so the Los Angeles Rams, it looks like I'm calling him Grandpa Wentz, is on the back burner because Grandpa Stafford is gonna play again because they're both ancient. Oh, speaking of, Wentz just had his third kid last week, which is lovely.
Yeah, he actually he visited with McVay, I think.
Yeah, he flew out to Los Angeles and had to fly right back.
Yeah,
his wife was in labor. Yeah.
And then he flew back out to LA to sign the contract like the day after.
Oh my goodness.
So good for Carson. Good for Carson. He's a big upgrade from Burt Rippon.
Yeah.
Let's just hope he has to sit on the bench. Let's hope he has to sit on the bench.
It sounds like he will, but it's hard to say because Grandpa Stafford keeps getting injured. It kind of happens when you're in your twilight years.
He had his finger on a helmet. I mean, what can you do, really?
Yeah, I know. I mean, everybody's got a good reason for what happens, but
that dive he had though to complete that 2-point conversion where he really jammed his thumb. That was a hell of a play by Stafford. Terrible throw by Tutu Atwell.
That was funny. I was like, well, that's how I know their situation is going well.
Yeah.
So the Arizona Cardinals, Michael Carter is here to help out, and Kyler Murray's back, and he's actually doing decently apparently. I mean, it was the Falcons, so we'll need to see more, but at least he didn't come back like the massage monster, probably because he had angered the sports gods for being a jerk. But he actually did decently, so that was nice to see. I like Kyler even though no one else seems to. So
everybody loves the toddler of the league. Everybody's favorite toddler. When he scrambles, he looks like he stole the remote from Dad and he's running.
He is rather short. It's kind of funny in photos when it's like, everything else is like so much taller.
I can't believe how I don't understand how he sees over top of the offensive line.
Oh, it's like Russell Wilson. They don't. That's the answer.
I think he's shorter than Russell Wilson, is he not?
They're almost the
same. Because Russ is like what, 5'10"?
Yeah.
Kyler's 5'8".
It is incredible.
It must be why he runs a lot. Anyways.
Yeah, or jumps up.
I'm off the Kyler Murray hype. I was never on it.
I don't see have a lot of hype, but I mean they do need their main man back, and it's about time that he gets back out there and like maybe does something, because I mean he's working with 0 pieces, so I'm always impressed when you can do something with 0.
When he had 85% of pieces, he was still poopy after 8 games.
Maybe he needed this time to reevaluate.
Listen, all I'm saying is Call of Duty came out last Thursday. Kyler's not going to be very good the rest of the season.
I heard that it was bad, though, so he will be good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Play it. Yes.
Okay.
And then, who was it? There was a Green Bay Packers coach way back when who, like, he wouldn't let his team look at the plays. They saw it, like, just for, like, a minute. He would put it out for, like, a minute, and this is back in the, like, forever ago, so it wasn't like the projector, and you would see where you were on the field, and then you pull it away because the Chicago Bears and the Packers were like stealing each other's plays so much that they wouldn't print it out or give anybody copies, and you couldn't study it at all. You got like 1 minute done.
Those bastards.
And I just think that Kyler Murray would have done really well in that situation. He wouldn't have to do any homework.
Yeah. He's doing very limited classwork at that point.
Okay, you literally don't get any plays. And it's hard to watch film because it's like 1950, so it's like more grainy than Devyn's background. So it's like you're probably just there's no homework.
Why are you throwing shade at Devyn's background?
I had to do something.
He is a wanted guest on the show, and
we do appreciate him being here. It just looks like the 1990s, okay? And
sorry.
No.
Laptop camera.
Yeah. Look, we can see you. That's good enough. Ryan had trouble with that for a long time. So
I did. Yeah. I moved to a desktop.
Then let's chat about Chris Thompson here for a second to finish off our football segment.
Okay.
Other than we have some college ball, but we're getting there. So,
yeah, we'll migrate into that after this.
Yeah, Chris Thompson said for the second time via podcast, she actually did it again in 2020 last year, that she made up sideline reports. She said on part of the podcast on Wednesday. And then she has made a statement. I believe it was on Friday that she apologized, but then she pretty much doubled down on making it up in her explanation. She said that she would like see things that would happen on the field, and she would list that as like things that the team needed to work on. So like it would be like, so they do one like at the end of the halftime third, like she would be like, okay, like they've been dropping passes, so they need to work on not dropping passes. Okay, so she would say that, and then she would not ever list a specific player or coach. She would kind of keep it vague on who told her that they needed to do that. So then so she would just she would come up with her own thoughts on what they needed to work on, and then she wouldn't specifically label who said it. And she said that in her apology. So basically she doubled down on the fact that she did in fact make up sideline reports.
My question is, what she would do is after they come out at halftime, they go to her on the sideline, and she'd say, I talked to some members of the Seahawks, and they said they have to start catching their passes. That's what she would do?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, my God. Just do your job, person. Oh, my goodness.
Well, sometimes the coaches wouldn't come out during halftime. So, like, they literally wouldn't have anything because the head coach would come out right afterwards. Like she said, it's actually harder to get people, like, cornered for these things than you would think.
Well, yeah, but
she didn't do it all the time. She did it, like, in the instances in which they didn't come out or didn't give her anything or wouldn't talk, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, to me, this shows ingenuity. And I wouldn't want to have to deal with old crusties like Belichick either. Can you imagine the way he yells at people? I would be like, I would make up what he said too.
Old crusties like Belichick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not against that, honestly.
I think it's creative.
Oh yeah.
And if she's not purposely calling out anyone by name, if she's just saying, I talked to the Seahawks sideline and they said we got to work on catches.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan was using them as an example, so I went with it.
And she's a Seahawks fan, so it makes sense.
So even if she's just saying that, I really don't disagree with that. She could talk to the fans sitting behind the sideline. They're still on the sideline.
Literally.
He said it.
On the sideline, and she might have been standing on their sideline. So, and like, I mean, obviously she watches the game, she understands the game, so she notices major issues that they have that are obvious. She only used obvious ones, like she's quite capable of pointing out like glaring errors. So
yeah, at least she wasn't saying, well, I spoke to Pete Carroll and he says we have to start catching our passes.
No, she would never list a specific person, because then you could get in trouble for like saying that that they said something that they didn't.
Yeah. It's pretty much like falsifying documents type shit.
It makes complete sense to me. I haven't ever really thought about it, but it makes sense. Sometimes their reports are kind of like really short or like really undetailed, and it just makes total sense that it would be because they fabricated it. I'm not mad, and I think if people are mad about it, they should try to go out and try to deal with these coaches, especially if they're in a loss or something. Like, they're going to be angry, they're going to be barking at you. Like, that's going to be, it sounds awful. So like, I think she's cool, but anyway, that was a big controversy that's popped up this week.
Okay.
It was.
That's good. That's good. I think everybody needs to know that. That's great.
It's a lot better than saying, I tried to talk to the Patriots and they gave me nothing. Back to you guys in the booth.
It's a hell of a lot better than saying I tried to talk to Bill Belichick at halftime, but he told me to shut the hell up.
Yeah, I told him to fuck off. And, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, Yeah, if they were honest about that, that would look a lot worse. It would make the team look bad too, which nobody would appreciate.
Well, don't be a douchebag.
Anyways. I agree with you, but I mean, come on. Like, we know how they do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but
I'm with Chris on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets a thumbs up for me. I think it's creative and smart.
So, time to migrate into some college football.
Mm.
Talk about Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, prime time. Says he is not focused on any other potential coaching jobs in the offseason. Are you buying it or not? Buy or sell?
I believe him.
Yeah.
You're buying?
Colorado gave him this opportunity in Division I. I think that he's fully embracing it. He's got the team that he's pretty much wanted to all come to Colorado. And I'm sure this offseason there's going to be a lot more transfers coming there. He's going to try to build this team, at least for the next 3 years, around his boys before they're ready to go into the NFL.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, like, is there reason to believe that he wants to leave? Like, is there any like source of that, or is it just doing so well that he can?
I think that his name was linked to Texas A&M.
Oh my God. I heard. So was Dan Campbell, so we can see how that's going.
Yeah, so
everybody and their brother, including NFL coaches, are linked to Texas A&M right now.
While we're on that Texas A&M topic, I'd like to talk about just real quick, Mike Elko. He's been a real topic of conversation, bringing Duke back to pretty much a great team this year. And now he's been one of the people that's also linked to that Texas A&M job.
I can't wait to see who actually gets a Texas A&M job now.
It's going to be nobody we think of.
Probably not.
If we keep listing enough NFL coaches, we'll get it.
Shit, Bill Belichick's going to Texas A&M now.
What about
probably be Josh Daniels?
Josh McDaniels is going to Texas A&M.
Oh my God.
That might be the only adequate offensive scheme he can run.
He'll probably be at a JUCO next year.
Yeah, he'll probably be coaching Pee Wee.
Don't do that to the kids. They're our future.
Oh yeah. So, yeah, he's doubling down, saying he's staying. So, I believe him. I think he's a man of his word and likes to see things through. He's built a pretty good culture around Colorado right now, from what I can tell. That team's turned around. Nobody expected him really to do anything. They were a one-win team last year, and the only people who were really hyping him were the people in the mainstream media who saw Coach Prime was going there, and they're like, "Oh, this team's gonna be great."
Yeah.
Any smart fan knew that Colorado was gonna be a struggle, and if they won more than 3 games, it was gonna be a success for Coach Prime his first year. So, good for him sticking around.
They did it. They got 4.
Do they?
Yeah, they're 4-6 right now.
Oh, well, they've been in every game pretty much except for a couple. So, from what I've seen, no,
I can think of 3 major blowouts this year where they
Steve
lost by at least 30 points.
Okay, so you said 3 games where they lost by a blowout?
By at least 30 points.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, and they played how many games?
And they're 4-6.
So that's 10 games. So 3 of their 6 losses were 30-point blowout. Against who? Against who?
When one's to Wisconsin, I don't remember the other 2 off the top of my head. But
didn't they get blown up by USC?
I believe so, but Caleb Williams is there. You can't.
Caleb Williams is a potential number 1 prospect in the draft. He might be QB1, QB2, or 3. So, as it just stands right now, as we're talking about Caleb Williams, a lot of people are saying that he might be dropping out of the QB1 race. They're thinking that Drake May might be hopping up to QB1 out of North Carolina.
Y'all saw that when he was like crying with like the thing over his face, looking like a head coach trying to cover his mouth when he's calling out plays.
Oh, you're talking about Caleb Williams when he was crying after the overtime loss?
Yeah, God, that got me in my feels, but that might not get everybody in their feels. It might kind of knock him down a little bit.
Yeah, he's not much of a warrior to some people if he's doing that, I guess. A lot of GMs, front offices, and coaches are going to want to have a player who maintains their composure, like Joe Burrow. That's what they're going to want.
Okay, Joe Burrow is a freaking, like, he's like a robot that moves. I haven't seen real emotion from him since.
Yeah, robots do move, Julie. Robots do move. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen iRobot? They move.
Not all robots move. My point is that he is a moving robot. Yes.
RoboCop moves.
He displays more emotion, like less emotion than Ted Bundy does.
Rock'em Sock'em
Robots. That robot's down for the year for the repair.
Yeah, I mean, the Terminator needs to go back to
like, unless you want your player to be a stone cold sociopath, you're gonna need a little more emotion than what Joe Burrow has.
You calling Joe Burrow a sociopath?
Maybe, but not as
What the hell, Julie?
He's only dangerous on the field, but I mean the total lack of affect that he has is like completely like the only other time I've seen it is like with people who are getting sedated. Like it's kind of amazing how like void of human emotion that he is. So like that's not gonna be what you're gonna see very often, okay?
Well, what I'm saying is they're gonna want somebody like Joe Burrow who maintains their emotions and doesn't like cry.
I mean, wasn't it the end of the game, so he can do it if he wants, right?
Well, I mean, I understand that. But people are gonna see that and they're gonna think, well, this kid, he's not very emotionally tough, and we need somebody emotionally tough to lead this offense. That's what I'm saying.
They're gonna look at that and say this kid clearly cares about the game that he's
playing. That's another way you can look at it.
I like that healthy view on males expressing their emotions in sports. We should try more of that. We might have less DV cases like we're going to be talking about in true crime if people actually talk about their feelings.
I'm not condemning him for crying after a loss. Yeah, losing sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure I saw a little tear in Josh Allen's eye, which made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, there's winners and losers in this world. You're going to lose some, you're going to win some. That's how you handle the losses. So, anyways, that's beer one. It was a big one. It was a Loco 40. You know, it was a 40 ounce.
Mm-hmm.
Let's recycle that. Devyn's doing the recycling for us. I heard the glass.
Yeah.
Had his Corona out. All right, let's pop open beer two in this 6-pack. Hopping over to the NHL.
All right.
The NHL is considering rule changes to create more overtime scoring. Too much or much needed? What do you think? Too much or much needed?
I mean, I haven't watched hockey since 2002, but
Jesus, Julie.
Scoring doesn't happen that often as I recall. And so I imagine that it would be nice to have more.
Okay, so before I let you elaborate on your response.
Mm-hmm.
At the meeting on Tuesday in Toronto, the league's general managers discussed potential tweaks to the 3-on-3 overtime period. And the NHL's current format sees teams tied after regulation play 5 minutes of 3-on-3 sudden death hockey. If the score remains tied after that, the game is decided in a shootout. Arizona Coyotes general manager Bill Armstrong. I don't know why this guy's even being quoted because he can't build a real team. The purpose of overtime is to end the game before the shootout, and we need to make sure that continues to progress. Colin Campbell, the NHL Vice President of Hockey Operations, said the league still supports the 3-on-3 format and hasn't discussed any major overhauls. The GMs instead focused on how to create more scoring chances during the 3-on-3 overtime, which has become more meticulous and less chaotic in its 9-year of existence. So their biggest problem is the players possess the puck for too long outside the attacking zone. So there was a game a couple years ago. The Ducks played the Oilers, and the Ducks maintained possession of the puck for at least 3 or 4 minutes, and they just kept skating around in their own zone. And, kept McDavid on the bench.
That's funny.
Because Edmonton was trying to hold McDavid for, a line change to get Anaheim on a bad back check or bad line change or something. So they possessed the puck, and the Ducks ended up winning the game. And the Oilers never touched the puck in overtime.
That's funny, though.
I mean, yeah. Be better on the back check, I guess.
Yeah.
Suck. The GMs discussed different concepts for overtime rule tweaks. Much of it is focused on players circling back into their own zone with the puck to regroup before rushing up the ice.
Oh, my God. Let them play. Oh no, you can't go back and regroup. You have to be right up there in the end zone the whole time. Maybe they need a minute. It's a long game.
Now, Jim Nill, of the Dallas Stars, the GM of Dallas Stars, said it's become a puck possession game now. Winning the opening draw is a big thing. Well, send your center out there who's good at faceoffs. Duh. Quit bitching about it and win the freaking faceoff.
What are you watching this for?
Seems like a weird complaint.
So coaches are very good and players are good, and they're finding different ways to do things. We just want to make sure that excitement's still there.
Kill one person.
Okay, the only person who made what if the people who are like the most irritated about it are like not even the fans
or the players? It's the freaking GMs bitching and moaning.
That's.
I feel like if they want more games to end in overtime, expand overtime from 5 to like 10 minutes.
How about this?
Wouldn't that solve everything?
Just do 2-on-2 hockey. How about that? Maybe 1-on-1 hockey.
Oh,
well, they cut it down to the 3-on-3. I like that. With the if there's a player that like gets a penalty or whatever, you bring the fourth man in.
Yeah, that's the 3-on-3 works. It's nice. It's decent. A lot of games end in overtime.
I'm annoyed that they like their suggestion is that they should just force the players to stay and like not be able to go back into their zone. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's pretty much what it sounds like.
Which sounds stupid. It's like if you
can't regroup or sub.
Yeah.
No, what they want is they're sick of teams being able to possess the puck for longer than 3 minutes in overtime on one rush.
Put a 60-second shot clock in hockey.
Yeah, 24-second shot clock in hockey. How about that?
Yeah.
You can only possess this puck for how about this? You have 24 seconds to get into the attacking zone in overtime. How about that? If you're going to bitch and moan about it, do better on the back check, be better at the face-offs.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like a problem that has an ideal solution.
It's a problem within the front offices because they're sick of their teams sucking.
No one.
It's a problem for the front office because they're sick of seeing their teams suck at face-offs.
Get a better team.
Do your job.
Fans have problems.
The GMs
fans are so upset by this, and there's like no actual fans.
The GMs discuss a variety of concepts to juice that excitement, including restricting a team from skating back into its own zone, almost creating a half-court version of 3. What the hell is that? Almost creating a half-court version of 3-on-3 overtime. There also has been talk about putting a timer on players. There you go. There's your shot clock. To ensure that they clear their defensive zone quickly instead of regrouping there.
Can we just let them
I can understand if a player's sitting behind his own net, just sitting there with a puck, not even like doing anything with it, like allowing his teammates.
Is that a consistent issue?
Well, sometimes you'll have guys that'll sit back there for 30, 60 seconds.
Yeah, maybe they need to catch their breath.
Off the opening face-off in overtime? After a 20-minute break?
I don't know.
Come on.
I'm not a hockey player. I don't know. Maybe they need to regroup. Maybe they're having some anxiety and they just know that they need to do some deep breaths back there.
Unintended consequences are always considered with these things. We could put a shot clock in there. We don't want to stop playing for violations. We don't want to have more face-offs. Okay, so you don't want to stop playing for violations? How about this? If you're not out of your zone within 24 seconds, wherever you are, you have to leave the puck alone and skate away from it. How about that? There's your scoring opportunity.
Mm.
See, I don't like this, though, because my favorite play in hockey history starts behind the goalpost, and that's the flying V. You got to wait for everyone to come back there, and then you take off. So,
I definitely thought you were going to go with the coast-to-coast play.
I know two plays. It's the flying V and the Gretzky. So
I remember
just get down
watching Gretzky.
next to the post and pass it to him. He'll turn and shoot.
Julie, you watch Gretzky?
Yeah, I watched him like in the flesh, like on the TV. Yeah. You know what I thought was interesting? Brock Purdy was actually born on a game day. Not as it might have been his last game day of Marino. And then,
really?
Yeah, and then Marino lost on his birthday. But yeah, like
62-13.
What?
His dad, Brock Purdy's dad, was a diehard Dan Marino fan.
Yeah, and he watched,
and that's why he wears 13.
Yes, and he watched all of his he tried to pattern his play. He watched all of his tape and stuff like that over and over and over, and he had like his poster in his room and everything. So like it was a pretty big deal when I thought that was interesting. Okay, and his other half, Brock Purdy's other half, is Italian, so I thought that was interesting too because they had that in common.
Julie, for being a Seahawks fan, you have quite of an obsession with the 49ers starting quarterback.
He's an anomaly.
Yeah. Did I write about him during Italian American Heritage Month? I'm pretty sure I did. I do a Heritage Month article, so I'm pretty sure I did talk about him. No, I talked about Dan Marino and talked about him in the Dan Marino article. So I end up learning a lot about a lot of random people.
So with her and her job, she has to learn all this stuff. I just know this stuff because we're best friends. So I have to be well versed in my battles.
You and Brock Purdy are best friends?
Shut up, Devyn.
I think that would be kind of cool. I mean, he's kind of young, but I mean, I guess we could be besties.
No thanks. Back to this hockey thing. They're gonna make a presentation in March about the numbers, shots on goal, and changes in possession.
Their presentations. I want to see how they do their PowerPoints, if they're like real on point with their.
I don't understand why they're bitching and moaning about this whole thing. They're saying that 3-3 is not entertaining anymore. Not as entertaining. As a hockey fan, you get in 3-3 hockey, it's sudden death. It's more space to create more scoring. And in hockey, any shot can go in. Yeah, fans should be on their seat no matter what.
A player made a shot the other day by shooting it off the back of the goalie's head. And it fell in. It was amazing. Yeah. I wish I had the name for you right here.
If you're a fan of the game, like, even when we have overtime and it's 10 minutes, like, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, we just had an entire game. And sometimes you don't really want it, but you still are going to watch it like it's the next coming of, the Messiah or something. Like, because you want to see every single thing that happens. Like, so
it was Connor McDavid last week.
McDavid
scored a goal off the back of the goalie's head.
I've watched goalies like somebody threw the puck off of the goalie and it went in.
So yeah, I think
bad bounces
got to be taken.
Bad bounces happen in hockey, and goals can happen at any time.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been goals that happen where they shoot it off of the boards and it ricochets down towards the goalie, and the goalie misplays it and it goes right through his legs. Come on. Shit happens. Just leave it the way it is. Stop trying to big brother everything. You don't have to make rule changes all the time.
So apparently, is this only been the rules for 9 years, you said?
The 3-on-3 overtime hockey has been 9 years, and the general manager of the Oilers actually championed the format, and he's the one saying that it's not as entertaining anymore.
Yeah. I think he has a loaded interest to feel that way. But anyway.
I guess so. Whatever.
As we're skating through hockey.
Move on to our next hockey topic here. Let's go with the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame class is being headlined by King Henry, Henrik Lundqvist, Mike Vernon, and Tom Barrasso.
Okay, I actually know what.
Barrasso is a two-time Stanley Cup champion with the pink. What?
Left-handed goalie.
He was a left-handed goalie. You don't see that very often.
That's cool.
He won 2 Stanley Cups with the Penguins back with Lemieux and Yager.
Yes.
Mike Vernon, I believe
American.
He played for the Flames, made the finals with the Flames in '86 against the Canadiens.
Okay, I'm not that old.
And King Henry, Henrik Lundqvist, Mr. Ranger himself, Mr. Broadway, backstopped the Rangers for feels like my entire childhood, and never got the cup. He did make it once, but came up short in 5 games. So that's the Hall of Fame class of 2023 for the NHL being headlined. I'm sure there's others, and I didn't really look up the names. So,
Let's go.
Patrick Kane, former Blackhawks forward, begins meetings on his
Rangers forward.
And Rangers forward. He begins meetings on his free agency tour. He's connected to the Sabres, Panthers, Rangers, and the Red Wings. Who's your money on? Where's he going? Now, keep in mind, he is coming off of a hip resurfacing surgery, which is
that sounds
hard to come back from at his age. I think he's 33, 34.
Hip resurfacing, you say?
I think so. What it said, yeah.
What on earth is that?
Oh, I don't know.
Medically speaking, I'm just alarmed by what that could mean.
I think they just went in and kind of cleaned everything up.
Okay,
kinda.
You don't just clean things up. Like there's
I don't know.
Resurfacing? Like do they like
I don't know. I think that's what it said, resurfacing. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna make a note. I'll look into it.
You look into that and you get back to me.
Ryan, did you say he was visiting Las Vegas?
No, I said he's visiting the Sabres, Panthers, Rangers, and the Red Wings.
If he's not in the ring, I would see him going to the Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers seem like they're set for a ring. Eastern Conference is a bit easier to get to the finals than the West. The West is stacked this year again. Yeah, I saw a thing today said that he's going to be interviewing. He's going to be looking at 8 teams at least before he makes his decision. So he's got quite the tour to go through. Kind of hoping he goes to the Ducks.
I definitely see Patrick Kane at this point in his career really just looking for a ring. That's kind of the reason he wanted to leave Chicago last year.
He's got 5 or 3 already, so
yeah, but as that was one of the things he was saying last year was that he wants to be back in the playoffs. He wants to be one of those dominant teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see a star like him taking a smaller contract to come on one of the better teams.
Well, like Vegas?
Like Vegas.
Because Vegas is killing it this year. Vegas is killing it this year, bro.
Yeah, they are. I have 3 of them on my fantasy team, so.
You're doing fantasy hockey. Okay.
I am the hip surgery, and it's as alarming as I thought it was. It's basically a hip replacement, except they don't actually remove the femoral head. They just shave it down and put metal over it. But he now has metal, like a half hip replacement, which is terrifying if you're a normal 33-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. I don't think he's normal.
Well, I mean, playing hockey for 15 years.
You have to cut open. They have to cut open your thigh and get in there. Like that's a major surgery. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, a couple of hockey players in their prime have had that and kind of not been the same since. So
yeah, replacements do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, joint replacements are. It's weird. They gotta have a big impact on your mobility.
I'm just saying, Julie, that he might not be the same.
There's metal in his leg. Ooh.
Yeah. So there's our hockey for the week. I believe. Yeah. That's all the hockey we got.
Yeah, I'm done with hockey. That's a lot.
So let's move on to the NBA. The Denver Nuggets extending their head coach Mike Malone makes him one of the highest paid coaches in the NBA. Deserved or not? I didn't see the contract details. I will look it up though. But contract deserved or overpaid?
I think very well deserved. He won the championship last year with really only 2 superstars, Devontae Murray and Nikolai Jokic. So I definitely see I see his contract being worth it.
Some money.
I just wish that he would coach his team and stop worrying about what the Lakers are doing.
That's part of his job in the West, though, Ryan. You know, he's got to beat the Lakers every single.
He is literally constantly bringing up the Lakers for some unknown reason, dating back to last year's playoffs, even after he swept us in the Western Conference Finals. Here he is, game 1 of the NBA Finals, and he's talking about the Lakers. Like, what are you doing? Coach your team, win the finals, and shut up.
Like a jealous ex-girlfriend. He really wants to be the Lakers coach. He wants to be on their squad.
Like, he constantly talks about it, and he talked about him all summer long. Like, what are you doing?
I just need to ask my cat that because he just scratched my hand.
What are you doing, Cat?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, what are you doing? Come on.
Stop talking about the Lakers all the time. Before every meal, like, he won't stop meowing about it.
Damn you. Stop talking about the Lakers, God.
Yeah, give the Nuggies some money and let's keep it moving.
Okay, I think I found the contract extension here.
If it's over a max contract, then I don't think it's worth it.
No, I don't believe they. No, it doesn't say what the contract thing is on ESPN. So let's check it out.
They're just not going to tell you.
Probably not. It's not worth it, I guess.
I mean, who needs to know the actual amount of a contract if you're talking about it?
Yeah, it doesn't even say. It says he got a 2-year extension.
Do you see this look he's giving me this whole time?
In addition to the 2 years he already had left.
What are you doing?
He's adorable.
He's got that weird. I don't know what that look.
He looked away.
Yeah, it doesn't tell us. Doesn't tell us what the money is. So there's that.
Well,
yeah.
I guess we'll just have to hypothesize that it's a fine amount.
Here's the NBA. Mike Malone. I'm sure he's going to talk about the Lakers this week, saying my contract wouldn't be possible if I didn't beat the Lakers last year. Right? Yeah, probably. All right, moving on. Crush it. Recycle it. Year number 4, we got the MLB.
Everyone's favorite.
Devyn's forte right here.
All right, good. Yeah.
The award winners were announced for this past MLB season. The Arizona Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll, and the Baltimore Orioles, Gunnar Henderson, take home the NL and AL Rookie of the Years. Did the voters get it right?
Yes.
Yes? Yeah.
I fully believe so. Corbin Carroll proved to be one of the best players in the world this year.
He's fast.
Clearly, he was one of the big parts of getting the Diamondbacks to the World Series. Gunnar Henderson, I think he was probably the one who should have won it. He's played phenomenal this year. He was all over the infield also for Baltimore, so he really showed that he can play defensively anywhere. And offensively, I'm pretty sure it was like 290, 293 he batted. So
yeah,
that's again, like that's one of the best batting averages in the American League. So yeah, those two are deserving.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, strong reasons.
This is actually one of the only time, I think one of 5 times in the MLB history where the AL and NL Rookie of the Year races have been unanimous. So
when you know, you know.
Yeah, I guess so. That wasn't the only thing that was unanimous. Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna both went home as unanimous MVPs for the AL and NL MVP race.
How do you feel about that, Ryan?
I don't think Acuna should have been unanimous. I mean, he stole 70 bags. He was a great player this year, but I think Matt Olson probably should have got some votes.
Mm-hmm.
His teammate, I mean, he was crushing it this year. Freddie Freeman probably should have got some votes. Mookie Betts maybe, but I don't think he should have been unanimous.
It sounds like everybody was on the same page this year.
Yeah, either they were on the same page or they just decided to let's just vote and get out of here.
It kind of sounds like that too.
So you guys are like, you're sure, right? Like we're going Ohtani, Acuna? Oh, yeah.
The jury's like, we don't need to deliberate another day. We can figure this out tonight, right?
Yeah, okay. So like we have reservations at 7. We gotta get out of here by like 6:30.
Do you really want to come back here in the morning?
Okay, no deliberation needed. Corbin Carroll, Gunnar Henderson, Ohtani, Acuna. Devin, who were the Cy Young Award winners? Was it Snell and Cole?
Yes, it was. Garrett Cole from the New York Yankees. One of the only 3 good players this year for him.
I was about to say, I'm kind of surprised you got anything good out of that corner.
We kind of shit on the Yankees a little bit this year, and it was kind of deservingly so at one point.
Yeah, it was New York's worst overall sports year ever.
Did any team from New York make the playoffs besides the Giants in this last calendar year?
The Bills.
Oh yeah, the Bills. Yeah, I forgot about them.
And the Rangers made the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was talking about New York City area. We know Buffalo is New York, but still.
Yeah, it is.
I was talking about New York City.
Okay, well.
Well, the Giants and Jets are New Jersey, so.
Yeah.
Technically.
I don't want to claim them in my state.
It was Al Michaels who was really harping on that one week, I think. It was we're here in New Jersey, really emphasizing that part. I'm like, okay. And then people were going off on Taylor Swift because she said she was in New York, and they're like, you're in New Jersey, and I'm like, you people are awful.
East Rutherford is not New York, ma'am.
You are not visiting New York right now. You are visiting New Jersey. Okay, calm down. Let her have her moment, okay? Yeah, but Al Michaels was really rubbing it in. We're in New Jersey. I was like, okay.
Well, it's true. They do play in Jersey. Yes. Where the hell was I with?
Well, getting back to the Cy Young Award winners, Blake Snell. He was Cy Young Award winner for the National League this year, but he's going to be an upcoming free agent.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of speculation of him coming to your favorite team, the St. Louis Cardinals. How would you feel about him?
What was the ERA this year?
I believe it's a 2.9, 2.94.
Well, 2.94 is a hell of a lot better than a 3.8. So, I believe he was also one of the only pitchers to win a Cy Young in both leagues. I think
that he has when he was on the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Yep, that's right. So he's a free agent. Nola is a free agent as well.
Aaron Nola from the Phillies.
Ohtani's a free agent. Ohtani can't pitch this coming season. He can't pitch till 2025. At the very soon, the soonest.
Mm-hmm.
What other free agent pitchers are at Jordan Montgomery's a free agent. He was a hell of a pickup for Texas on their way to the World Series, which we're going to talk about in just a few moments. If Snell comes to St. Louis, I'll be happier than what I was this past season. But I would love to have the Cardinals look at Ohtani a little bit, but they'll never shell out the money for that shit. There's no way. Absolutely no way they shell out any money for Ohtani. I mean, they wouldn't shell out money for Trey Turner. I mean, come on. We needed a shortstop, and they wouldn't shell out money for it. So, yeah. So there's
see Ohtani staying in LA, whether it's in blue or red.
Really,
those are the markets that are going to sign him.
Well, speaking of Ohtani, Mr. Devin, he remains a free agent after turning down his qualifying offer from LA. He's among 7 other players to turn down their qualifying offers, which includes Cody Bellinger, who he had a pretty good season for Chicago this past year. Yeah. So Ohtani having the elbow issue, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think? Where's he gonna go? Does a team possibly take a risk on him and just say, okay, we're gonna need you to hit this year, but there's a possibility you'll pitch in 2025 and you'll be just as good as you were in 2023, or what?
So I think more of the question is, I think everyone's going to shield and try to want Ohtani on their team. No matter who you are, you want Shohei Ohtani to be playing baseball in your uniform. The question is he worth $500 million, like the deal he was speculating to get? And I honestly am not sure of that. With a complete year of not being able to pitch, and you don't know what he's going to be when he comes back. Honestly, I'm not sure if he's worth the $500 million that he speculated to.
So I hear you there. I don't agree either. Before the elbow surgery, I didn't think he was worth $500 million. I don't think any player should be worth $500 million. I mean, of course, there could be team-friendly deals with incentives that make it $500 million, whatever.
Yeah.
I think some team might give him like 250, 300 maybe, just to be a DH for a year. And he might actually end up going the route of Bryce Harper, first base DH. If it's because this is the second time he's had surgery on the elbow, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so I don't see him lasting as a pitcher in the MLB, especially after the second surgery. He might just go the Bryce Harper route, and which is great because he's a great hitter. It's just hope that he picks up first base as good as Bryce Harper did.
Well, the comparison for him has always been with Babe Ruth. That you've always seen Ohtani is the modern day Babe Ruth. Well, in the end of Babe Ruth's career, he couldn't pitch anymore. The pitching was pretty much gone. So maybe Ohtani, with this being his second shoulder surgery, maybe he should just kind of stick with batting and become that 350 batting, like average batter that he could be.
Well, Babe Ruth stopped pitching pretty early on in his career, actually. He only pitched like 6 years.
Ohtani's only pitched 3.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any shoulder surgeries.
No, they didn't have elbow, shoulder, nothing. They didn't have Tommy John back then. And they had beer and steak. Here, have a beer and a steak and see what happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think this whole Ohtani thing, he might have to bite the bullet, sign a 2-year deal with LA, earn himself back into that huge contract echelon where he was supposed to be this year. But if some team throws money at him, I don't see why they would. But if some team throws money at him, I'm thinking he'll take it because he definitely wants out of LA.
There's one other team that is really like it's come to my mind that they could offer him everything they got because
if you say the freaking Yankees, I swear to God.
And that's the Detroit Tigers.
Thank God you said that.
They no longer have Miguel Cabrera.
Mm-hmm.
The only contract they really have to worry about right now is Javi Baez.
Ugh.
And I really don't see him staying in Detroit for long if he doesn't turn stuff around. So I could see them saying, you know what, Ohtani? You want the $500 million? Come to Detroit. We'll give it to you. And then that be their next superstar, the person that brings people to their stadium.
Do they even have the money for that?
Yeah, that's what Miguel Cabrera was signed to. It was like $35 million a year. I'm sure they can fork out $15 more million a year to sign Ohtani.
For how long?
10 years.
How old is Ohtani?
I believe 28, 29.
He'll be 29 next season, right?
Yes.
What? I don't understand why anybody would give him a 10-year deal. He'll be 39 by the time that your contract's up. You're going to be missing at least 5 years of great ball play, and you're going to be paying money out your ass for no reason.
Because Ohtani's got a great agent.
Is his agent named Scott Boras?
I do not know.
You've ruined baseball. Thank you.
All right. So
Anywho, we'll move on. I think that's everything for. Oh no, it's not everything for baseball. It's not. The World Series did end. Did end a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Texas took home the crown for the 2023 year.
Like we all thought.
Did we?
No, you didn't see my face when I said it because I was definitely.
I had Philly and they choked on me. But thank God the Astros weren't there. So I was looking at this graphic. Average World Series viewership since 2016 has steadily declined over the last 8 years?
I can't
7 years.
imagine why because
So
it's like so interesting.
So in 2016 we had the Cubs and the Guardians. Now they were battling it out to end their droughts. Cubs had a 108-year drought something like that. That was 22.8 million viewers, average viewership. Fast forward to 2023, Texas Rangers versus Arizona Diamondbacks, average viewership $8.5 million or $8.5 million viewers. 8.5 million viewers compared to 2016 with 22.8 million. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Food for thought.
I think it's if you ask for our opinions, I think that it's really based off who's going to be the star power, like the stars in the World Series. Where I think if it was Phillies versus Astros, this World Series viewership would have been more than 8 million. I feel like probably around 10 to 12. But I feel like it's definite. We've come to this world where kids and everyone in the younger adult age is all addicted to this thing that's in their pocket. And there's a new app that's come out called TikTok where you can watch a thing in
TikTok.
30 seconds. It gets people's attention. And 30 seconds later, you can swipe off something to get another thing that's going to give you an excitement for 30 seconds. Kids' attention spans and people's attention spans have changed so much in the past 20 years that it really is changing. The kids don't want to sit down and watch a slow game of baseball, unfortunately.
But they had a pitch clock.
They're trying these changes and trying these rules to get the younger demographic back into it.
Yeah.
But still, it's not going to change unless we have these superstars in the World Series.
They were trying pretty hard to have Adolis Garcia be the superstar to sell them World Series viewers. But it's funny you mentioned the Astros and Phillies. Last year when they played, 11.7 million was the average viewer for Astros and Phillies.
11.7.
Yeah. That was 6 games. This series went 5. So
I was kind of thinking that baseball might be losing popularity in all of its like viewership, not just at the end of the season. I can't possibly, because I love baseball, imagine why someone wouldn't love baseball, but if I had to guess, it would be because it's really, really long. And that's from someone whose attention span is more than 20 years old in development. So, and even back then, when you had to wait 12 years to get something to download on the interwebs and email was a new thing, even I couldn't handle baseball. So.
Yeah, Devyn, you're only 2 months younger than me, and yet you sound like you're a 70-year-old man. Get off my lawn, yelling at the clouds.
Like when you couldn't call someone and have the internet going at the same time. So you had to wait for the phone call to end, okay?
Devyn sounds like he downloaded like LimeWire.
Well, I mean, I do understand that baseball is a slow sport. And if you don't have the attention span for it, then you're really not going to stay and watch it.
Like
Pay attention to what's going on.
I have a very lovely attention span. I just don't waste it.
I mean,
that was not to be a shot at you by any means.
No, I'm just saying, like, you could have a really lovely attention span and just not want to waste it on baseball.
That's fair. A lot of people also don't understand the little things in the sport, like how to strike someone out. They just understand you're taking a bat to hit a ball.
Right.
Like they don't know you're going to throw a certain pitch at a certain time to try to trick the other person's way of thinking, or like
it's the hardest thing to do in sports.
Exactly.
You're hitting a round ball with a round bat.
Yeah, I tend to think that that's true for a lot of sports where you miss the nuance unless you love it. Like there's that nuance that you only catch if you love the sport. It's not the nuance that makes you love the sport, I don't think. I think a general love of the sport happens and then you learn the small things over time. So
yeah, it takes a lot of practice to get good at baseball, and these guys that play in the major leagues, they're the cream of the crop. Some of them are actually kind of poopy, but still.
Yeah, so on to the next one.
On to the next one.
We already finished that beer. Okay, running dry here.
Actually, the A's are moving to Vegas. That vote we talked about a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
The vote has happened, and the A's are going to Vegas.
Like Vegas is the new spot. Okay.
Yeah, but here's the thing. On Thursday, it was a unanimous vote. The owners voted to move the A's to Vegas. Let's see here. Goodness gracious, I had it right here. The move is not yet finalized. Legal challenges from a teachers union in Nevada regarding the $380 million the state has committed to the construction of a $1.5 billion stadium on the Las Vegas Strip still could scuttle the move. But winning approval from owners marks a significant step toward Oakland losing its last major men's professional sports team. Is it?
Are you as sad about it as I am?
Wait, what?
Are you as sad about it as I am?
As sad about it as you? Well, I mean, it's Oakland. They deserve better. But at the same time, why are we going to Vegas? But
I don't get it.
It just kind of reminds me of the Expos all over again. Granted, we were still in like elementary school when it happened, but yeah, it just doesn't seem like a good idea to move them to Vegas.
It does feel like a sort of end of an era, too.
It doesn't feel like a good move. It doesn't feel like a good move to me because they're gonna be homeless for at least 3 years. They're not gonna have a stadium playing in Vegas when they move there after the 2024 season.
And the Lakers don't want them to have one, apparently.
The stadium won't be done until 2027 or 2028. Let's see here. The Oakland A's lease with the Oakland Coliseum expires after the 2024 season. Team has yet to solidify plans where they will play before the Las Vegas Stadium is ready in 2028. Manfred, the commissioner, said extending the lease in Oakland is an option, though the city, mind you, owns half the stadium and the A's own the other half. Okay, so they're roommates with the city in Oakland Coliseum.
So does one have to buy the stadium off the other?
I really don't know. So they own it. They're part owners of the stadium. Yet the A's are leasing it in Oakland. So it doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, you
I think
noise there, Ryan.
Yeah, my sister just got home, so
I know. Actually, I can tell.
We can see her.
Oh, you can see her?
You can hear the whole conversation. Yep.
Hey, pizza girl.
Hey, pizza girl. Anyways, so they own half the stadium. They're leasing it in Oakland, which drives me insane that that's even happening. The city has said in order to do that, extend the lease beyond 2024, that they would need to keep the A's name and move to the front of the line, for a potential expansion franchise in the future. So they're going to hold the A's name hostage, make the A's move to Vegas without a name, which you were talking about earlier, Devyn, with me. I think I saw your notes. You said that there could be a possible name change for the A's with this move. Did you read the article? Same article I did?
I feel like I saw the same exact thing you did, Ryan. Because you mentioned earlier that it feels like the Expos. This, honestly, this feels so similar to when the Oilers moved to Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
In the NFL. Yeah. I just watched a documentary recently about that. And for 3 years, they were not able to play in Nashville. They had to play in college stadiums. And they had to keep that Oilers name. They did not have a new name until they had their final destination. Really? So this is kind of the opposite, though, where you're saying that the A's are not allowed to keep that name?
That's only if the city agrees to extend the lease past 2024 for the A's to stay in the Oakland Coliseum. So if the two sides agree to extend the lease, then MLB has to keep a promise that Oakland keeps the A's name and they get first pick for a expansion franchise in the future.
I love that idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's a petty idea, but at the same time, you're screwing us out of a team here.
Yeah, I love that idea, and I'm excited to hear what the voting is.
I concur.
Yeah. I mean, it's voted through already, so we're just waiting. We're just waiting now. Yeah. I don't think it's a good idea going to Vegas. I hate the idea, actually.
And you had a strong argument for it a few months ago, and I can see where you're coming from. It just seems like that's what the teams are doing nowadays.
Oh, I had a strong argument to go to Vegas or like against going to Vegas?
Against going to Vegas.
Oh,
we discussed it the first time. Nobody was like super thrilled by the idea.
Right. Yeah. Just feels like they're banking on customers. Yeah. Tourists.
Yeah.
Just come into Vegas. Oh, I'll pick up a game while I'm here. You know, I mean, our high school that Devyn and I went to on senior trips, you go to New York City, you can either go to Broadway or you can go to a Yankees game. So, I mean, tourism, I guess it works for Vegas. I mean, you get a lot of people there.
It works for tourists, but I bet that the diehard fans are going to be hard to create.
Fine.
There.
Yeah. I mean, there is baseball in Vegas already, though. So.
Yeah, but it's not going to be like the Oakland fan base. That's for sure.
Only 27,000 people fit into Oakland Coliseum. And they all showed up, all 27,000 of them, for a reverse protest, I guess, to stop them from selling or moving to Vegas, but wanted to sell the team. Whatever.
They just want new owners.
As they should. Manfred praised the ownership, mind you, of the Oakland A's. They made 7 playoff appearances since 2005.
Hey, Ryan, maybe we should keep it moving since we've...
Sorry. Anyways.
For a minute, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. On to sports betting.
Let's go.
Sports betting. Florida man wins $5.5 million on a 4-leg same-game parlay during the Bengals and Texans game. Could this entice an uptick in sports betting?
I believe it.
Now, mind you, sports betting was not allowed in Florida for like the last 5 years, I think. And it just made its return this year. And this dude wins $5.5 million on a 4-leg same-game parlay.
That's awesome. Shout out to this guy.
And here's my cousin making like 7 parlays a week and can't even get $20.
Yeah, I'm certainly not raking in the cash, but my sports bet upticking, it has nothing to do with Florida, obviously. I think most states are kind of coming around to it. The worst part about going back to Washington State for the holidays is the fact that you can't bet except for on the Native American reservations, and you can only do it on like their systems. So so if it's even on an app, most of it's not even on an app, but like 1 or 2 reservations has their own like DraftKings basically, but most of them don't. You have to do it like by paper or something. I don't even know, but like it's like the worst thing ever. And just because like I don't want to have to drive out to a casino where there's a reservation and do it, and like a lot of people are kind of arguing that it become available to everyone, but it's just the worst when you can't. I used to live in Louisiana where you can do whatever you want, so it's a big disappointment, and I think it needs to be available everywhere so that DraftKings never feels like it needs to check my locations ever again.
Yeah, well, just be sure to make your bets outside of team facilities.
You know me, I'm always up in a facility for some reason. That's where my office is at.
In a facility? Well, that's good.
Yeah, in New Jersey.
All right, that's that beer. We'll crush that out. Just recycle it. Beer 6, final beer. Cracker open.
Go.
Throwback jersey debate. Should some teams go back to the old jerseys? Now, I'm talking like nostalgic childhood jerseys, all right? I'm not talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers creamsicles.
Yeah. I know some people like the Seattle Seahawks one better than at least the creamsicles, but the
90s 90s home jerseys?
Yeah.
Oh, those are beautiful.
I thought they were okay, but I mean, if you look at the old jerseys and those ones, to me, they're not like identical to me, and they're not. I know they're not supposed to be, but it doesn't look quite like it, and the material is just different, and you can tell. Like the Seahawks, they made theirs out of like 100% recyclable, like made out of plastic bottles or something. Like it was, like their jerseys, and the old ones are like, you can tell that they're like in a completely different sort of. It doesn't feel super authentic to me to try to like replicate that look, and the colors are more muted. The material is just like doesn't look like it breathes the same. Like you're not gonna quite get what you had, so I don't see the point of trying to replicate it. But that's just me.
So, have they not worn them this year? Because I know they're supposed to wear them this year.
Yeah, they did wear them this year.
Did they? I have not seen them.
I'm trying to remember which game it was, but I don't know.
I think if they don't bring back those breakaway jerseys, the tearaway ones, then it's not ever going to look the same. So if they're bringing back the throwbacks, they better bring back everything: the big pads, the neck braces.
Exactly. I was going to say that too. If it's not covering like 50 pounds of padding, is it even the same thing? Like when you make it out of recycled water bottles, it's certainly not the same thing. And so like I think it's kind of fun to do the occasional throwback. It goes well sometimes. I don't like the Seahawks one, but that's just my personal preference. I don't like all of the muted colors. The colors are so much more vibrant now. Back in the day, they were kind of, I think because of how dyes have kind of like developed, like the color is more vivid. So I like it better now, but like I can see how there's like an appreciation, but I would kind of like to keep it how it is, where you can bring them back for like certain games and stuff. Like, but I don't know that it needs to. A little blast from the past is nice, but it doesn't feel authentic to like make it like every week.
Yeah, they could have a theme. They could have this is 80s week. This is 90s week. Like everyone's wearing the jerseys from the 80s that week. Everyone wears the jerseys from the 90s the next week.
I honestly felt like jerseys back in the like early 2000s, late 90s were brighter than what they are now.
Maybe I feel like at least for the throwbacks that I've seen and the whatever their influence they're pulling from, because I think the creamsicles were from the 70s.
Yeah, 70s and 80s. Yep.
Yeah, the Seahawks were in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So like in particular those were, because I don't think people are calling something younger than the 90s a throwback yet. I mean, I know like Jen probably is, but like I think like so maybe in another like 10 years they'll have the 2000s, but I'm just looking at like the throwbacks that we've seen.
Yeah.
The colors might have been more vibrant in the early 2000s. I can't really like sort of recall that, but at least like before that they all seem just kind of like more pastel almost.
I know the Rams like 99 jerseys were like loud.
Yeah, and those were nice.
Those are beautiful colors.
Yeah, I love that blue with the
compared to our jerseys now.
Well, in the late 80s and early 90s, they brought back they brought in all those neons.
Mm-hmm.
The neon colors and the bright colors. And because it looked flashy. The guys flying down the screen. It just looked like a blur of color.
And the Seahawks never lost their neon. We'll keep this one going.
Can we just be thankful that they got rid of the freaking Color Rush jerseys?
No, I loved Color Rush.
I might be
the only one on this, but I'm not even a Rams fan. Really hate the Rams. Those Rams all gold Color Rush jerseys, fire.
The mustard jerseys, you like them?
I love them.
You ain't right, bro.
Capital letters.
You ain't right. You liked watching the Christmas Bowl with the Bills and Jets?
I did.
Oh, wow.
It was fun. I liked it.
I
like that eccentric stuff. Bring the entertainment to our eyes. Give us a different look every now and then.
That's why you like 80s wrestling. I got you.
It's an 18-week-a-year season. Why not have 3 or 4 weeks that were thrown in different uniforms or having different themes to flash stuff? Like, I absolutely love the whole month of October when everyone wears pink for breast cancer. Like,
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
but it makes that month stand out also.
And if you hate it, you only have to see it that one time. Like the god awful Bears, like all orange ensemble.
Oh,
that was pretty rough.
Like the orange bear claws on top of their helmet. Well,
yeah. And what's the QB that's not Tajan? What's his last name? The backup QB for Justin Fields. He just got like completely washed up in orange, and he's too pale for that.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Tyler Bagnett. Something like that?
Bagnett. Yeah.
Bagent or
Bagent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was close. I was thinking about tangents. We're back in math class. All right.
The good old Caleb tangent. We're on it.
We are on it, but we're not on it anymore because we're going to remind our fans we will be posting our Thanksgiving special next Monday, and so a little something new, something special, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. And then we'll have the OG3 hopefully back in December, and some more special guests, and maybe even Devyn will come back. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding. And if you have comments, let us know. Any thoughts, anything you didn't like our answers, you got a different opinion, let us know. We'll listen. So and we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Real quick, I really appreciate you guys having me on. I absolutely love this. This is fun talking about sports and stuff. I'm normally on the Kick Out Crew podcast where you can find me talking about pro wrestling all the time. So this was a cool different feel.
I was gonna say your like stuff. You had to jump in there. Okay, fine. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
it sounded like you're ending. So that's why I was like, I just want to who I was real quick.
Tell us where to find you on social media and everything.
Let us know what you got going on in your life. This camera, like hot ones. Go ahead.
All right. I am Devyn Dowling at DevynD19 on all your social media platforms, wherever you want to find me. Like I said, the Kick Out Crew podcast is where you can hear me talking about pro wrestling every single week. We're on the Premier Streaming Network. That's our main platform. And I really love this, honestly. Talking about football and hockey and baseball and all the fun stuff. This was a great time. I love watching you guys too. Unfortunately, Caleb wasn't able to join us today, but it was great to talk to you two.
He's here in spirit, and he'll be back, and you'll be back too, probably. I mean,
our daily conversations, Devyn, sports.
Yeah, that's pretty much all anybody ever talks about in my life. But yeah, but this podcast is special, so I hear you. So make sure to check out Devyn's information. We'll have it also in the description below, so you can click on it. And so all our pro wrestling fans, make sure to head over there. I'm gonna take a look too because I wrote an article about Hulk Hogan one time, so I'm a wrestling expert. So you go.
It's one of Devyn's favorite wrestlers for some unknown reason.
He is a really interesting person. I wrote an article about him from birth to where he is now. And, it's just really interesting to also know Terry Jean, his sort of alter ego, who he actually is.
Yeah, and his 37,000 back surgeries.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
And the divorces and his weirdly protective nature over his daughter that borderlines on something. Anyway, all of it. Visiting kids in hospitals, which is the coolest part. Anyways,
prayers, eat your vitamins.
Absolutely. So we will see everybody the Thanksgiving special, and then we'll be back to our regular format in December. Make sure to catch our true crime too. All right, gents. Okay, I am gonna get some B-roll of Doopy Whoopy because he's just being so cute.
Hi, Doopy Whoopy.